And that is the opportunity cost in essence. And we often don't think about life in terms of opportunity costs because we only look at the thing that is in front of us. So your brother was telling you about how you can make more money investing somewhere else, but what you saw is this one thing in front of you and you thought, no, I don't even know if I'm going to make this money elsewhere. I don't know if that's going to happen. This thing is right in front of me. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with opportunity cost. There's always a trade-off of what you can see and what you can't see. But with every decision you make, there's something else that you're saying no to. It's coming at the cost of something else.
I was thinking about that as you were talking, and just to give a bit of color to this for people at home, and a good example of opportunity cost. So like yesterday, I bought lunch for the team, right? And the lunch cost $100. It was like this salad bar in Los Angeles. Cost me $100. Fine, $100, who cares? But then when I think about the numbers you shared earlier on, if I'd taken that $100 and put it into the S&P 500 in 40 years, assuming I got 10% return a year, which is like the average of the S&P, that is almost $5,000. So in terms of opportunity cost, buying the team lunch for $100 has effectively cost me, in opportunity, $5,000 that I would have had, presuming that return in 40 years from now. So that lunch yesterday actually cost me potentially roughly $5,000.
Yeah. And I guess for you,
that's the last time the team are getting lunch.
But on the other side, you might have missed out on how the team felt going to that lunch and the invisible benefits that you might have got from that. Whether it was just the memories at that moment in time, whether it's the motivation, whether it's the culture that you're bringing in, that's the thing that you might miss out on if you choose that $5,000 in X years of time.
And I guess it's a balancing act as well. Like, I was thinking about the guy you mentioned with the Ferrari. And if he were to die today, one could argue that, in fact, he played life correctly.
Absolutely.
Because he lived it. Yeah. He saw it. He did it. And this is, I think, the difference you see in people. Some people have that long-term view where they think, no, I want my money when I'm 65 or 70 in my pension fund. And other people play a bit more short-term in their life and go, I just want to have good experiences now. And so it's hard to understand who's right because we don't know how the story ends, I guess.
Yeah, and I think there's a fine line, but there's also a way to balance living in the present we're planning for the future by understanding that you are going to allocate a specific amount of the money that comes in towards the here and now. And then the rest you are going to use towards the future you. Because there's something very rewarding about spending now when you know the future you has already been looked after. It makes you want to spend it without thinking, oh, what is this coming at the opportunity cost of?
Do you think people should buy a house if their objective is to make money? Or do you think there are other opportunities like the S&P 500, like using your tax-free ISA?
A lot of people listening probably don't have or are on their way to building a deposit or working their way to have the money for a deposit. If they're putting themselves under pressure and they think that they're just buying a house to build wealth, I would say actually look into investing through that stocks and shares ISA as a start. That is tax-free. If you haven't even started investing through that stocks and shares ISA, which by the way, 75% roughly of people in the UK aren't investing. So yeah, I would definitely say open that up first.
And do you think one should split a proportion of their investments into different categories of risk? Because you've got like crypto on the one side of it, which sometimes feel like being at a roulette table. And then you've got things that are typically safer, like the S&P 500.
Yeah. I'm going to say with the stocks and shares, actually, when you invest in, and a lot of people also want to invest in crypto, but they also want to invest in individual stocks as well. Should I go after the next big winning company stock? Should I invest in this stock? What I want to say is that there's two parts to think about. The returns, but also the behavioral concepts. How you feel when it comes to investing, because one of the biggest impacts on market performance is your contributions, but also your behavior. So Fidelity found that people who invested in funds underperformed the fund that they were in. It sounds impossible. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds impossible. How can you be underperforming a fund that you're in? But then when they looked into it, they found that when fear and anxiety took over, when the market dropped, these people bought, sold. They essentially danced in and out of the fund. As a result, underperforming the fund that they were already holding.
Okay, so when it went down, they sold.
Yeah, when it went down, they sold. When they went up, they bought. And so what you want to do is you want to invest in something that makes you buy and hold. Fidelity looked into the groups of people that had invested in their funds to see which group performed the best. And when they looked into it, they found one group significantly outperformed all other groups when it came to investment returns. And that was dead people. Dead people outperformed the living when it came to investment returns because they didn't touch their investment account. They just set it, forget it. They didn't chase the next company stock. They didn't go after the thing that's going to go up really quickly and down really quickly. And that all ties into the behavior. You're not letting your emotions drive the investments. And by the way, they found that the second best performing group were the people who forgot that they had a fund in the first place. So when it comes to deciding what allocation you want your portfolio to be, it's understanding, okay, what is going to give you the returns? But also, what is the thing that's going to help you stay the course, even when the market goes and drops? What will make you feel like, okay, I could still stay and hold my position? That's how to decide what kind of percentage portfolio you want for yourself. And I've done that with my portfolio. With crypto, it's less than 2% of my overall portfolio. I've invested the amount that I feel like it won't make a difference if I lose it. And if it goes to the moon, great. And that's how, when I sit somewhere here, the last thing I want to do is encourage people before they've even set up the financial foundations to invest in something that can go up and go down when 75% of the population isn't investing. And the reason why they're not investing is because, and I keep hearing this from time and time again from the people I speak to, is either they're really scared they're going to lose money or they don't know where to start. And so when it comes to losing money, I always say, do the foundations first, set up your portfolio there, and then move on to speculative assets should you want to go down that path.
I remember the first time I invested and I downloaded this app and I put some money in there and then I watched it and I was watching it so much and it was going up and down and up and down. And like 3-4 months later, I sold it and I didn't really make I think I lost a couple of £100 or whatever. And then I watched that same investment over the next 5, 6, 7 years just go to the moon.
Yeah.
It went up and I remember thinking, fuck, I should have just kept it in there. And then the best investment I ever made correlates to what you were saying because I lost my password. I lost the password to log in.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't do anything about it anyway. And I watched it and it went down and up and down and up and down and up. But over 5 years, it went really, really high. And so when I first started investing in crypto and I invested in Ethereum and now Bitcoin, my strategy was the same. My strategy was get the private keys and give half of them to one person that I trust and half of them to the other person that I trust. And even if I want to, I can't do anything about it. And that's proven to be one of my greatest returns in investing because I don't even know what's going on with it. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You've just taken the emotions out of the equation.
Yeah.
There's no fear, greed. There's nothing else that controls your financial decisions other than logic.
I think actually on that first investment I made when I was must have been in my early 20s, I needed the money. I didn't have the emergency fund or a peace of mind fund. So when it started to go down a little bit, naturally you kind of panic. So I think in the second season of life where I started investing in Ethereum and Bitcoin, it didn't really matter if I lost the money. So it made it easier to hold my nerves. And I think nerves are such a huge part of investing. It goes to what you said earlier, it's worth taking $100 or £100 or whatever you can, which is a really inconsequential number of money, and putting it into some kind of S&P 500 or even a stock just to feel that, almost to train your psychology and emotions of what the ups feel like and what the down feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
So your investment strategy, your portfolio, you mentioned it there.
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It's 40% funds.
Okay, what kind of funds?
Index funds.
The
S&P 500. I also do international markets, so UK, so emerging, developed, across all sectors I also do. And I keep it very, very diversified. S&P 500 target date retirement funds that automatically rebalance. So target date retirement fund, for anyone who's listening and wondering what it is, it's essentially a fund that has different types of investments within it. So you could go onto a platform of your choice that you use to invest, and you could type in target date retirement fund. And at the end of every fund will have a year. And so you want to pick the year that is the closest to the year that you plan to retire.